question. The Democrats like to distinguish themselves as being different than Republicans in terms of this specific law, for example. But really, neither side is doing anything about the runaway cost of higher education. Nobody is really doing anything. I mean, this relief doesn't do anything for future students. So is either party really any different? Are Democrats not just essentially as dishonest in their approach as they accuse the other side of being in terms of the impact that they would have on students going forward? Both parties are really beholden to the Wall Street beneficiaries of these runaway interest rates and these runaway debts. What are Democrats willing to do about the runaway cost of education? That really is at the heart of the matter.
No, I think it's a real problem. That's one of the reasons why when the president announced his plan last August, when he announced his debt relief plan, there was another key provision in there, which was a set of policy ideas about holding colleges accountable for raising prices. It was a set of reforms that we were putting in place to make sure exactly what you said, that colleges can't get away with continuing to raise tuition costs for students, so that the ability to go to college is out of reach for your typical middle class family. The Department of Education has already made progress on what's called a gainful employment rule, which would restrict whether federal loans can be used at a particular school if they aren't showing that people are graduating from that school and getting higher incomes when they graduate. It's a significant update to that rule that is going to hold colleges accountable for actually delivering on the promise of higher education for those students. And I would also note that the president was able to secure the single largest increase in the Pell Grant that we've had in the history of this country, so that people, like he said, who make in almost every instance under $60,000 a year, people from families making $60,000 a year or less, get that additional bump, which is going to open up the doors for higher education for them. So we're trying to come at this from both ends. We're trying to help lower income, middle income families afford the cost of college by providing some direct relief, and we're holding colleges accountable so they can't keep raising prices while delivering poor outcomes for students.
And a quick follow-up to that, Republicans have offered to work, I'll be very quick. Republicans have offered to work with the president on measures to combat this, the actual cost of education. Is the president willing to work with the Republicans on that? Do you believe that the Republicans are sincere?
Look, I think that the president has a long track record of working with Democrats and Republicans for getting things done for middle-class families. He did it a number of times in the first 2 years in office. If it comes to real serious reforms to the cost of higher education that aren't going to cut off pathways for middle-class families, and where the costs of that aren't being placed on middle-class families, then I think that the president is willing to work with anybody who has good ideas on that in that regard.